I am outside Burt's restaurant, Burt's Place, over here in Morton Grove. Alright guys, day 4 in Chicago is complete, and I only went to one place because I wanted to make sure I got this in, because this is the furthest I've gone for anything in this food tour so far. And this place is called Burt's Place. It's in Morton Grove, and you know, Anthony Bourdain had it on his trip to Chicago on no reservations, and he said it was pretty good deep dish pizza. And you know, it's in Morton Grove, and there's a whole bunch of little tricks that you have to know about this place. You just can't walk into this place and expect to be served. That's one thing, because what Burt does, and yes, he's been working there all the time with his wife Sharon, is that he makes everything from scratch. Every morning he goes to the market. He makes his dough fresh every day, and if he doesn't have anything for you, or he can't cook that many pizzas in an hour because he only has 2 small ovens, then you're probably SOL for at least a couple of hours. So today is Saturday, so on Saturday he only serves dinner from 4:30 to 10. So I was desperately trying to call ahead. That is tip number 1 for Burt's Place. Call ahead before any service, hours in advance. I called almost at about 12 o'clock to make sure that I can get a pizza at a particular time. So what I did is I kept calling, like, you know, you're on your favorite radio station trying to win tickets to something or trying to win some money, and you just have to fight through the busy signals before you get the call from Sharon. Usually Sharon's the one answering the phone, but it could be somebody else. So you got to make sure you order, and so I'm going to take pictures of this menu, you know, and the hours, because on Yelp they don't have this updated menu. This menu was just changed on July 1st of this year, so put that on Yelp. They're gonna appreciate that. Also, the place is rustic. If you look at the pictures, you know, it's pretty darkly lit. It's in a residential area, which is odd. But when you come in, you can smell that mustiness, and that mustiness is not from people, it's from the smell and the age of the house that Burt's Place is in. So he has a lot of eclectic collections of very old video projectors and some radios up on the wall, and really nice guy, Burt. You know, busy all the time because everybody keeps calling. So the first tip, again, was to call ahead. Call ahead hours before the service that you're looking for, whether it be for lunch during the week or dinner on the weekends. And when you call in and pre-order, even if you're just sitting, even if you're going to eat there, you got to call ahead, and you got to order your pizza right then and there, right as you call, and also tell them exactly what time you'll be there. But be careful. Tip number 2 is that when you say you're going to be there at that time, make sure you come 10 minutes before that time, because then that means that you'll have your pizza in either 10 minutes or in about 5 minutes, like I did, because I did it right at the beginning of the dinner service, 4:30. So that's the tip number 2. And I have to say that pizza was great. I mean, I had the small, as you can see in the picture. But you can see it's not as deep dish as you would expect from a Chicago deep dish, but it's his style. And his style is also to burn the crust, and it's burn the crust with a little bit of cheese he sprinkles on the edges. And so it kind of brings up that kind of like that flavor of burnt cheese, and it's really, really good. Now, for those who love cheese on their pizza, there's not a lot of cheese in these deep dish pizzas, which I agree, you shouldn't have too much cheese on a deep dish. But I mean, this one is a fork and a knife kind of meal. You know, and also if you eat there, they actually will serve you a slice by slice. So don't try to reach for the pan, because he'll put, you know, depending on how many people are there, he'll put your pizza on another table. And from what I hear, most people carry out, so you have no problem with that. And the waiter will always look and go, "Ooh, your plate's empty. Would you like another slice?" And he or she, whether Sharon or their other waiter, their only other waiter, would actually cut everything and put it in there. Also, I had a pretty good local beer. It's from the Great Lakes Brewing Company, and it was a very interesting red brewed ale. And I guess it was seasonal for Halloween coming up next month. And I'd say it was pretty bold in flavor. I mean, it was pretty good. It's pretty bold in flavor, and apparently it sells out really well. Sells out pretty fast. So I had that as well, as you can see from the picture. I just got fortunate to be able to call and get the reservation, get my pizza pre-ordered, and be able to make it there on time. I had to take a train, and it took me about an hour and a half to commute all the way from this hotel near Midway all the way to Morton Grove. So yeah, I try to get there. I try to get to these places as early as I can without being extremely early, and try to get the food that I want, because, you know, I've come all the way this far. What's another hour gonna do? It's not gonna hurt me, because I'm here to eat. It's the important thing about my trip. It's the food. And if, you know, if that magazine has it on the front cover, and Anthony Bourdain, kind of like a New York guy, starts to like this pizza, which happens to be a deep dish Chicago style pizza, then it was worth it. Now onto the pizza. The pizza had a really interesting, really flavorful tomato sauce. It was kind of sweet, but not too sweet. You know, not overly powering sweet. It has a kind of nice sweetness from, I guess, this, you know, the ripe tomatoes. And you know, he has this really interesting flavor on the sausage. It's almost like that flavor that you get from a good meatball, except it's just sausage. I had my pizza the Chicago way: sausage, onions, mushrooms, and instead of green peppers, he has a mix of bell peppers, which are like red, yellow, and green from the looks of the pizza. And I have to say, that bread, it wasn't extremely thick like a standard deep dish, but it works. Like I feel like I get inundated with too much bread on a deep dish pizza, but this thing had the right amount. The dough was soft on the inside, crispy on the outside. You know, he puts that butter in the pan before he puts the dough down, so that's where you get that crunchiness. But you also get that softness, that delicateness, that when you carve into it, it is really, really good. So I have to say, it was definitely worth the hassle to call in, get your pizza, or call in, get your pre-order, and then make all the journey all the way there. So what's interesting about Burt's Place is that they have a guest book, and before I looked there, Sharon was telling me that she had visitors from Singapore and South Korea in the past couple of days, and I told Sharon this after we talked about it a little bit. And yes, you can talk to Burt and you can talk to Sharon, that you know, with the popularity from the cover of that food magazine, as well as Anthony Bourdain on the Travel Channel, and the Travel Channel being, you know, kind of a global, international channel, you know, I wasn't surprised that you would get visitors going all the way over to Chicago or Morton Grove just to have Burt's Pizza. I mean, you know, they want to know what the hype is. Definitely worth the trip to go there. And I'm glad I did not skip on it, like I was thinking about in the last couple of days, because it was so far away. So again, this is the end of day 4. Hope you enjoy the pictures. Hi to everybody out there. I'm doing just fine.